Alright, so, today I'm gonna talk about my experience with DXM cough syrup. Initially I kind of thought of DXM, as kind of like a crusty thing to do. Because I started using drugs, like, really early on, but I didn't see myself as, like, a junkie, like I do now. I kind of just, like, looked at myself as a stoner that kind of popped pills every now and again. Um, Cause that's kind of just all I did. I didn't really, I didn't have like the, I didn't, addiction didn't really have the grip on me that it does now. Because like, now, I struggle to go an entire day without thinking about drugs. I struggle to go like an hour without thinking about drugs. Or like half an hour, probably, like 30 minutes. I think that's a lot. Like, if I'm like caught up in something, that's the only time. Like, if I just don't have anything, if I have like free time, or like free thought, I guess. If I have nothing directly on my mind, I'm most likely thinking about drugs. But yeah, I mean, I didn't use DXM for the longest time for that exact reason. Like, I saw the people that used it, and they were always like the most crackhead, crusty ass, dusty fucking kids that I knew. So I was like, okay, fuck that. I just did like Adderall, and like I did Vicodin a couple times. I did codeine once. Yeah, Vicodin was my favorite. I love opiates. Vicodin's like all I've done. I've done Vicodin, and I've done like a line of lean, and that's pretty much all I've ever done. Back when you could afford fucking lean, like back in 2017, or was it 2016? I don't know. Whenever I was 13, fuck, I don't feel like doing the math, but DXM. I was 19 years old. I had made a couple of friends in college. They were all like stoners, and we were just at CVS, just doing like regular shopping. And I go like the cough and cold in that section, and I was like low-key trying to show off, and like, did you guys know? Actually, you can get high on this stuff, guys. But I had never actually done it before, so I pick up like a fucking off-brand bottle of cough medicine. This was like the only time I've ever done syrup, because I quickly realized that my body can't handle it. So basically, this day, my friend, he was like, do you want to come smoke with me and my other friends? And I was like, okay. And his friends turned out to be douchebags, only let me hit the blunt like 2 times, which, I had a tolerance at the time, so like that didn't even get me anywhere, and I didn't have any weed of my own at the time. That's like the whole reason I kind of hang out with these people, because it seemed like fucking dickheads. I would have just been like, fuck off, I don't want to meet your fucking dickhead friends, but I just wanted like to smoke their weed, and they basically just like faced a blunt in front of me. So I was like, okay, that pissed me off. So we get back to my room, and like they did the same thing to him too, though. Like, it was really like only 2 people like in the front seat like smoking the blunt, and then like everyone in the back seat was just chilling, which was like lame as fuck. Like, you're not that fucking guy. Like, we're not your fucking, like, what the fuck, what? Like why would you, I don't know. He's a fucking pussy. He was tweaking about the cops and shit. Like, they pulled someone over nearby. I was like, dude, you're fucking tweaking. Like, they already got somebody. Like, why would they? Also, all we're doing is smoking weed. Like, cops don't care if you're smoking weed. That quickly tells me that someone's never had to deal with the cops before if they're tweeting about like weed. It's like, oh, you're a fucking pussy, and you're like really not from this world in the same way that like I am. And I don't want to make it seem like I grew up in like the fucking hood or anything. I really just like I got caught up in a bad crowd as a kid and got in a lot of trouble and did a bunch of stupid shit like really really young. Um, so I guess I'm streetwise, if you want to fucking say that, which is gay as shit. Um, but I don't know how else to really explain it. Like if a cop has somebody, first of all, they're they're already doing something. Like they're not looking for people to arrest. Okay, I'm getting caught up on this. So we get back to my dorm after we watch these people face a fucking blunt. We have no weed. We have nothing. I'm like, okay, dude. We could either drink this cough syrup I have in my fucking drawer, or we could just be sober for the rest of the day. Um, so the decision was pretty cut and dry, pretty clear what we were gonna do from there. So yeah, no, we get fucking lit. We basically split the bottle in half. I think it was like, I don't know, 450 probably in the bottle, and I got really sick. I got really sick to my stomach in the way that like Robo-Tabs don't make me that sick. Even like the Walgreens or like CVS like gel tabs, they don't make me that sick. But the fucking syrup, man, that makes me, ugh. Like they have to put something in it that like fucks up your whole system because I've never felt that sick before. But yeah, I basically like I yak the fuck up everywhere. And yeah, I'm basically like, dude, you gotta go, cause I knew I was about yak, and he kind of just like stood there for like a good minute or two without moving, and he was like, yeah, I should go, like he knew that he had to leave, because also I'm not one to like just kick someone out, like I'm a very like considerate person. I try not to do shit like that, to be like, dude, fuck off, I want to be alone. Like, no, like, just chill, you know? But, yeah, so like, yeah, he understood that, like, something, like, I really needed to be alone. Like, I was 100% yak. So, yeah, he leaves, and I quickly fucking start just yakking and, anything that I can fucking, like, get my hands on. I start off, like, in this cup, fill up the cup, I have to run over to the sink in my dorm, and I just fucking start yakking. And my roommate had left at this point. It was like a Friday night. So I was like, okay, he went home for the weekend. It was like 1 a.m. He usually wasn't out that late. Turns out he wasn't going home for the weekend, and he walked in on me, fucking purple sink. The entire sink was purple, and I was like, and he knew I did drugs, so I was just like, dude, yeah, I just drank too much cough syrup. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was able to sleep, so, I mean, I clearly wasn't that fucked up. But I remember, like, I guess since we took it, or I don't even know if I slept or not. I'm pretty sure I did, though, because I remember, like, waking up, and the next morning I had to go, my parents, like, bring back my laptop charger that I left in my house, like an idiot. You know, shout out to my parents. They're, like, they're way too good for the fucking junkie son they have. But yeah, they drove all the way to give me my charger, and then they offer me a meal, and my ungrateful ass has to be like, no, I'm actually too geeked right now to eat, because I woke up and I was still like a little nauseous, and I honestly woke up like more fucked up than I went to sleep. It might have honestly been Polysterex or Polystera, I don't know, however the fuck you pronounce that. It might have been that shit, because I usually like HBR, like I would have in that time period soaked it up a little bit, but I had only gotten higher by the time I woke up. So, shit. So yeah, my parents like, they offered me a meal. They're like, hey, we should go work out. I mean, we should go eat out. And I'm like, sorry, like I'm like really sick. Like I threw up last night. And my dad's like, oh, you're hungover. And I was like, I was like, whatever. I just went with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm hungover. I was like 18 at the time. Like, I shouldn't have been drinking. And my parents are like chill. They're reasonably chill. You know, like they're okay with me just when they leave me like drinking. and stuff like that, but they don't want me popping pills or doing hard shit, like an idiot. So yeah, they're just kind of just like, oh, he's hungover, and leave me be. So yeah, I just kind of go back to my dorm, and I think I don't know what I do after this. I think I honestly probably played Project Zomboid, because I was like really into this game at the time. And that was kind of my first experience. And so for the longest time, I didn't do DXM again, because that really put me off. I was like, dude, this shit sucks. Like, I can't. Like, if I'm gonna throw up every time, like, fuck it. I can't do it. But, I really didn't revisit DXM until I started doing ketamine. I had, this was sophomore year. By this time, I had moved out into an apartment instead of a dorm, so I had an entire room to myself. So yeah, basically, just main goal was just be geeked all the time, just be fucked up as much as I can. So DXM is really good for that because it lasts a very long time. So by this time I'm like a lot more educated. I know about RoboTabs, I know about R30s, which are like things you can get on Amazon. They make consuming DXM a lot easier. So then I also learned about like plateaus and stuff like that. So my first trip was I remember I had fucking Vine Boom. I had like $8 or some shit like that, and I was like, okay, I can either get like 2 Four Locos and like get Blackout, or I could get DXM. Because I was like, well, I'm gonna get fucked up tonight. Cause yeah, by this time I was like off the deep end. I was like, I just fully had like the junkie attitude, where it's just like I want to get fucked up as possible, as much as possible. Which unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I still feel that way. You know, I'm sober for the week, and then Friday, I let myself like smoke weed on the weekends or pop pills or whatever. Right now, I'm just smoking weed. Honestly, I'd love to say that I'm off of like benzos, but the only reason I'm not taking Xanax every day is because I can't afford it. Or I can't afford real Xanax. I could probably buy some fake bars, but I don't want to do that shit because it always turns out bad. But we'll save that for another video. So yeah, I go to CVS. I get a bottle of 20 RoboTabs. I think that's 300 milligrams or whatever it was. It put me in the second plateau. I do remember that. So, the euphoria was so intense my first time doing DXM. It has to have the same property as Molly, where the more you do it, the less euphoria you feel. Because I've never, just the warmth and it felt so amazing that first time. Or it wasn't my first time, but it pretty much was. As you know, my first time I just threw it up and didn't really feel much of anything. But I remember I was watching fucking a Game Grumps Let's Play. I was watching them play fucking what was it? Zelda Skyward Sword or some shit. And like, don't get me, I don't enjoy watching Game Grumps. It's just like I don't know. I watched them a lot as a kid. It's just something to like have on. And also it's like it was like a 10-hour like compilation video, so I could just like throw it on and just like dissociate. Which was, the main plan most of the time. Was just dissociate, just don't there. So yeah, I just oh my god, it was so blissful. I was just laying there in my bed. It was like genuinely one of the best memories of my entire life. It was just me alone taking cough syrup in a fucking trash room. It was really depressing, but or that's really depressing. That's one of my best memories. The actual experience was amazing. It was just so euphoric. And that really, that turned me on to DXM, and it was something that I wanted to do now. So let's see. I do a couple more second plateau trips until I reach like the very edge of the second plateau, where it's just like really a body feeling more than anything. You don't get that many visuals in the second plateau and the first plateau. It's more like just being like fucked up. It's kind of like being crossfaded, I guess. Some people use that analogy, but it's a little bit different. It's more dissociating because it is a dissociating. But if I had to compare it to something, I'd probably compare it to that. But yeah, I do that, and I remember one day I was like, okay, I wanna like actually get visuals from DXM. So where's that fucking knocking coming from? I think it's upstairs. Yeah, I wanted to get like actual legitimate visuals, so I went into the third plateau. I think my dose was 700 and something milligrams. And that trip was insane. And the thing about DXM in that dose range is I got waves of euphoria, but I also felt dysphoria. I would get waves of including doom almost, like in the same feeling as like a come up of a DMT trip, like that feeling of like fuck, like something's about to go wrong, or something's like going wrong. So yeah, I felt that for a while. Then like everything becomes warped, like you're like in a house of mirrors. Everything becomes all fucked up and different and like warbled, I guess is a good way to describe like the visual effect. And I remember walking out, and I was going to use a bathroom. My roommate was in there, and I just like kind of stared at him for a second, and he was like, "Oh hey, what's up? You need to use the bathroom?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm really fucked up right now." He was like, "On what?" I was like, "DXM. It's like cough syrup," but I said it like really slowly at the time, because I just couldn't. You can't think straight. Like it takes you a long time to put a single thought together at that point. So yeah, I was like, I'm on DXM, and my roommates were like cool. They were gay, all of them. And drugs are more common in the gay community. They're more accepted. So he was like, "Oh, I have a couple friends that have done that before. They said it's like a lot of fun." And I was like, "Yeah." And then I went and pissed. At this point, I was pissing every like 5 minutes, so it wasn't really, it wasn't that out of the ordinary. It does make you piss a lot, but also I just pee a lot. Like I think I've had bladder problems before. Like I started abusing dissociatives. I know ketamine like fucks up your bladder, but I don't know if DXM does too. But yeah, if I take like shrooms or something, I piss a lot too. But where was I at? Oh yeah, big trip. That's really all that happens. Oh no, and then I remember I was like watching my TV, and my spatial orientation got so fucked up to the point where I felt like I was like standing on the wall looking at the floor. That's what it felt like. Like the TV was the floor, and I was like standing on the wall, just like looking down. It felt like gravity was pulling on me. It was weird. It was super weird. It's amazing the things that DXM can do. But yeah, that was like really my only big significant trip. The rest of them were just like first, second plateau mostly, and that was just like cheap for a bunch of weed. And that would be it. I did do LSDXM, or yeah, I think that's how they say it, where you just mix LSD with DXM, and that was pretty fun. I did it at night with my roommate, who's like, okay, he's like autistic, like he's like real fucked up in the head. Like he has something wrong with him, but like he's like super against drugs. He's like mentally like, I don't know, like 11 or 12 years old, or probably even younger. So like it's like something that's like scary to him. So he really like threw the vibe off. I didn't really have a good experience. It was really intense and overwhelming, and he was just like chilling there, and like I was like scared as fuck, cause I was like getting to a point where I couldn't hide the fact that I was like fucked up. I don't know why I tried such an intense combo with that dude around, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much my entire experience with DXM. I'd say it's fun to try it like once or twice, but definitely not something to make a habit out of, because I mean dissociatives in general, scientifically, I'm sure I can't remember which. I think it may have been ketamine, or maybe DXM, but one of them was shown to cause old knees lesions in the brain, which are just like big scars in your brain, which you don't want. And it also causes damage to like the language part of your brain. I don't even know if that's like scientifically proven, but I just know that as a fact because of my friends have done it and I've done it, and it kind of like fucks with like you talk slower for a couple days after you take it. People that have abused it for a while, they struggle to talk, they develop a stutter, shit like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much my whole experience with DXM cough syrup. But yeah, if you're really, I mean, I don't want to encourage anyone to do anything. So I take it back when I say try it. I kind of assume everyone is kind of a junkie and is already like experienced with hard drugs and shit like that. But it really is something that can do a lot of damage. Even a single use can be dangerous or cause lasting damage. So yeah, it's something you have to be careful with, and not everyone should do. And really, you shouldn't do any drugs. If you're sober, don't do drugs ever, please. Like, it may seem fun, 'cause it is, but it will ruin your life. It will tear your life apart, in a way that really nothing else on the planet does. Like what it feels like to be a drug addict, it's just, you feel like an alien all the time. You feel so fucking alienated from the average person and the average human experience. Like, I don't really enjoy much of anything at this point, unless I'm high. And then I really only enjoy doing like mindless activities like video games, and I don't know, I make music. That's really the only thing I do. But I was depressed before. I fucked up my brain even more, so yeah, it kind of is what it is. But yeah, don't do drugs. And that was my experience with DXM.